In this video, I'm going to show you how to place the rear passenger side brake hose on this Ford E-350. This is what connects your brake line to your brake caliper, once again on the passenger side because the driver's side is a different hose. Let's get started. If your wheel has a hubcap, use a pry bar to pry it off. When you push the pry bar in, go as far as you can and pry it off. Now use a 22mm socket to remove all 8 lug nuts and then pull the wheel off. What I would like to start with is trying to free up this fitting that connects the line onto the brake hose. Use an 11mm flare nut wrench and try to break it free. Sometimes if it gets stuck, it'll twist the entire line with it. Looks like it's twisting this bracket actually. That's not what I want to do. So I'm going to hold the brake hose with some pliers here. That way it doesn't twist it. There we go. All right, so that broke free, which is great. Now if your line starts twisting with the fitting, you're gonna need to either break it free or commit to building a brake line because this line cannot twist too many times before it breaks since it's metal. Now this being broken free, I can move along now so that if I have the new brake hose installed all the way up to here, all I do at the end is just switch the brake hoses around and we lose the least amount of brake fluid. With that said, I'm going to pinch off the old brake hose right about here with some pliers. Now if you don't have these, you could just use locking pliers. This will restrict the flow of brake fluid through the old hose as we work, and we once again lose the least amount of brake fluid. Use a 14mm socket or wrench, break free the banjo bolt off the caliper. Have a collection bucket underneath because fluid will leak at this point. The caliper is full, even though we pinched off the brake hose. The inner washer often gets stuck, so take a larger socket, put it over the banjo bolt, give it a tap with a hammer. And what that does is it pushes that inner washer off the threads, otherwise you would have to fight it after you remove the hose. Okay, let this drain. This right here is the washer that I was referencing, and because I hammered it off, I'm able to just remove it. Otherwise, it would be stuck on the threads. Remove the banjo bolt and the outer washer. Inspect the banjo bolt if it's in poor condition, as in really rusted, or maybe it's stretched or the threads are not great anymore. Consider replacing it instead of reusing it. Mine is good, so I will be reusing it. Inspect the mounting area on the caliper to make sure that that's in good shape. If it's really corroded, well, you may need a new caliper. Take that banjo bolt and a new copper washer that should have come with your brake hose. Slide it on the brake hose with this bottom lip facing towards you. Install the banjo bolt with that new copper washer right through it. And on the other side, put on another copper washer. This will sandwich the hose in between the two. Start it onto the caliper. Use that same 14mm socket to bottom it out. And now torque it to 30 foot-pounds. Basically what you're looking for is to squish those copper washers. That's what's going to create a nice tight seal. Use a 10mm socket to remove this bolt holding on the brake hose bracket. Using a 16mm wrench, you can hold the cutout on the brake hose while you unthread your fitting with an 11mm wrench. And I'm going to actually switch to a regular open-ended since that's going to make things a lot easier now that I know it's broken free. Have that collection bucket underneath because fluid will be dripping as you do this. I'm actually just going to switch to some pliers. That's going to make it a lot easier for holding this. Oh, there it is. Take your new brake hose and start threading it on to the fitting. Keep in mind that this won't thread on unless the fitting is perfectly parallel to the brake hose and the threads are lined up. That's going to be the hard part of this job. Once you have that on, continue threading it until it bottoms out, which is pretty much right there. The brake hose and snug this up. Give it about an 1/8 to 1/4 turn after it bottoms out. That should be plenty tight right there. And re-secure the brake hose onto the differential. Snug that bolt up. Clean this area off with brake parts cleaner so we can make sure that there are no leaks, and if there are any, you'll be able to see them. Using a 10mm wrench, open up the bleeder screw. We'll let fluid come out as gravity pulls it through and pushes all the air out. This is called a gravity bleed. Now after this, you may need to perform a manual brake bleed if you think you still have air in the system. You'll see how to do that at the end of the video, but the gravity bleed should get most of your air out of the system. So we'll wait for that to be done. Once we have a steady trickle of fluid out of the bleeder screw with the gravity bleed, we can close it all off. There's our steady trickle of fluid. I'm going to move this around just in case there's air trapped in there. This looks good, so I'm going to close it off. It's been about 10 seconds of it bleeding. Snug it up. Clean it off with brake parts cleaner. If your bleeder screw had a little rubber cap, go ahead and put it back on. Mine did not. Now pump up the brake pedal. Let's top off the master cylinder. Let's put the wheel back on. Put back all 8 lug nuts. We're going to bottom them out in a cross pattern and also in a cross pattern so that wheel can seat evenly. We're going to torque these to 148 foot-pounds. (148 foot-pounds) in a cross pattern. Double check them if you'd like. The hubcap has a cutout here. You want to line that up with the valve stem so that it can actually fit on. Slide this over and tap it in. And there you have it. Job is done. Take it for a road test. Open the hood and you'll see that on the driver's side, right next to the coolant overflow, you'll have your brake master cylinder reservoir. If it has a lot of debris on it, wipe it down. Mine's a little bit dirty, but it's also very stained. So this isn't really dust that's going to fall into it. Open up the cap. If you look closely at the cap, you'll see that it says to use .3 brake fluid. I know this one's kind of dirty, but you should be able to see it on yours. I have a vacuum pump with a collection receptacle on it, and what I'm going to use this for is to remove the old fluid that's in the reservoir. If you have anything else that's going to remove this brake fluid, go ahead and use that. Just remove as much as you can out of this reservoir. Okay, that's as much as I'm going to get out of it, so I'll stop right there. Now take some new .3 brake fluid and fill up the reservoir. That's full right there, up to the max line. Let's cap it off. We are now ready to start the bleeding sequence on this van, and the first wheel you want to start at is the right rear. After you've bled that one, go to the left rear, do the same thing. Now that we've done the rear axle, top off that master cylinder to make sure it stays plenty full. Then you go to the right front, you bleed that caliper, and then lastly the left front. Top off that master cylinder again since you've bled another 2 calipers, and then check the pedal. Make sure it's nice and firm when you pump it up with the engine off. If you're unhappy with how the pedal feels or you think you have more air left in the system, repeat the bleed in the same sequence until you are satisfied with the bleed. Now this is the right rear caliper. We're going to have an assistant in the vehicle ready to pump up that brake pedal and create pressure in the system. After they do that, they're going to hold the pedal so that pressure is applied, and then I will break the bleeder screw free to release any air. Go ahead and pump. All right, they're holding pressure. I have a little hose that is attached to a collection receptacle so I don't spill fluid anywhere. Using a 10mm wrench, open up that bleeder screw. There we go, we got some air. Pedal hit the floor, go ahead and pump again. We're just going to repeat this process until there's no more air coming out of the bleeder screw. Okay, holding pressure. Okay, hit the floor, go ahead and pump again. All right, open it up. Hit the floor, go ahead and pump again. This one was clean, so we'll do it one more time. All right. Oh, I got an air bubble. Go ahead and pump again. All right, this is clean. Go ahead and pump again.
Holding. Floor.
Perfect. You can let go of the brake pedal now. I had 3 clean bleeds in a row, nice fresh fluid, so this is all set. I'm going to wipe off any remaining brake fluid here. You can use some brake parts cleaner and spray this down. And of course, if you had the little rubber cap, go ahead and plug up the bleeder screw so it doesn't get clogged up. Now we're going to do the same thing to the left side rear, then we'll top off the master cylinder and move to the front. I topped off the master cylinder and I'm at the right front caliper, so we're going to bleed this one. Go ahead and pump.
Holding.
Okay, holding pressure. This is a 3/8 bleeder screw now, so we'll get that wrench on there, open it up.
Floor.
All right, hit the floor, go ahead and pump again.
Holding. Floor.
All right, pump again.
Holding. Floor.
Perfect. You can let go of the brake pedal. We had several nice clean bleeds in a row here, fresh fluid. So once again, wipe all of this off. If you had brake fluid dripping down the caliper, use brake parts cleaner to rinse that off. And the last caliper in this sequence is going to be the left front caliper, so go ahead and bleed that one. With everything done, top off the master cylinder one last time. Make sure it's full all the way up to that max line. You can see that on the side of the master. And of course, cap it off. Now, if you're unhappy with how the brake pedal feels and you think you need to bleed again, do it in the same exact sequence, all 4 wheels, or all 4 calipers, I should say, until you are satisfied. Then top it off once again and put the wheels back on. 148 foot-pounds in a cross pattern. Take it for a road test.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.